Let me ask you something straight. When was the last time you felt truly strong? Not okay for your age. Not managing, I mean strong. The kind of strength where you stand up without pushing off your knees. The kind where stairs don't make you think twice. If you're over 60 and that strength feels like it's slipping, this is for you. Most seniors panic and run straight to protein powders. Big tubs, big promises, big price tags. You mix it, drink it, hope for magic. But here's the part nobody says clearly. After 60, it's not just about how much protein you swallow. It's about whether your body can actually use it. And in many people, that response gets weaker with age. So you keep buying more powder, and your legs still feel softer. Now here's where this gets almost ridiculous. Some of the most powerful muscle-supporting foods after 60 cost around $1. Yes, $1. They're not trendy. They're not branded. They're not sitting on a supplement shelf with flashy labels. They're basic, ordinary. And that's exactly why people ignore them. But when it comes to helping your body build and protect muscle, they can outperform many protein powders simply because your body recognizes them better and responds faster. This is not hype. This is about working smarter, about giving your muscles what they actually react to. Because after 60, every meal is either helping you stay independent or quietly pushing you toward weakness. In this video, we will reveal 5 shocking $1 foods that can help build muscle faster than protein powders after 60, ranked from least powerful to most powerful, so you know exactly which one to prioritize. And wait until you hear about number 3. Most people walk past it every week without realizing it could change how strong they feel in just months. If you're curious about the deeper reasoning behind these picks, I left helpful notes down below for you. Before we dive in, here's a quick question. How old are you, and do you feel stronger or weaker than you did 5 years ago? I read and replied to your comments myself. Now, let's begin with number 5, the overlooked $1 food that might surprise you the most. Number 5. Canned sardines. Most people walk right past the canned fish aisle without giving it a second thought, and honestly, that's one of the biggest missed opportunities in senior nutrition today. Canned sardines are an absolute powerhouse when it comes to building and preserving muscle after 60, and they cost roughly $1 to $1.50 per can depending on where you shop. What makes sardines so remarkably effective for aging muscles is their unique combination of high-quality complete protein and omega-3 fatty acids working together in the same bite. A single can of sardines delivers around 23 grams of protein, which is nearly the same amount you get from one full scoop of most protein powder brands. But here's where it gets really interesting. A study published in the journal Clinical Nutrition found that omega-3 fatty acids don't just reduce inflammation in aging joints and arteries, they actually enhance the muscle-building response to protein by improving something called mTOR signaling, which is basically the biological switch inside your muscle cells that tells them to grow and repair. When you consume protein alongside omega-3 fats the way sardines naturally provide, your muscles activate that growth switch more powerfully than when you consume protein alone, which is exactly what happens with an isolated protein powder. On top of the protein and omega-3s, sardines are loaded with vitamin D, calcium, and phosphorus because you're eating the soft edible bones along with the fish. And vitamin D deficiency is one of the most common hidden causes of muscle weakness and increased fall risk in adults over 60. Researchers at Tufts University found that seniors with adequate vitamin D levels maintained significantly more muscle strength over a 5-year period compared to those who were deficient, and most people over 60 are deficient without even knowing it. Now, when it comes to preparing sardines for maximum benefit, simplicity is your best friend here. You can open a can of sardines packed in olive oil, place them on a piece of whole grain toast, squeeze a little fresh lemon juice on top, and add a pinch of salt and pepper, and you've got a muscle-building meal that took less than 2 minutes to prepare. Another excellent way to enjoy them is mashing them with a fork and mixing them into a simple salad with leafy greens, a drizzle of olive oil, and some diced tomatoes, which adds extra antioxidants that help reduce the oxidative stress that accelerates muscle breakdown as we age. Some people prefer to warm them up in a pan with a little garlic and serve them alongside some cooked vegetables, and that works beautifully too. The key is to eat them consistently. aiming for 2 to 3 cans per week because the muscle-building benefits of the omega-3 and protein combination compound over time and become more pronounced the longer you maintain the habit. Sardines are also incredibly easy to digest compared to many other protein sources, which matters a great deal for seniors who sometimes struggle with heavier meats or dairy-based protein products. Your stomach produces less hydrochloric acid as you age, making digestion slower and sometimes uncomfortable. But the soft texture of sardines means your body can break them down and absorb those critical amino acids without putting stress on your digestive system. For about $1.50, you're getting a complete muscle-building meal that outperforms expensive supplements in almost every measurable way. And that's exactly why sardines earned their spot on this list. But if you think sardines are impressive, wait until you hear what the next food can do for your aging muscles. Before we continue, take a second to like this video and subscribe. There's even bigger insight right after this. Number 4. Whole eggs. There might not be a more underrated and misunderstood muscle-building food on the planet than the humble whole egg, especially for people over 60 who were told for decades to avoid them because of cholesterol fears. Let's set the record straight right now because the science has completely shifted on this topic. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2017 found that eating whole eggs after resistance activity stimulated muscle protein synthesis 40% more effectively than eating the equivalent amount of protein from egg whites alone. That's a massive difference, and it comes down to the fact that the yolk contains nutrients that the white simply doesn't have, including healthy fats, vitamin D, B12, choline, and a range of micronutrients that work synergistically with the protein to amplify the muscle-building response. This is that food matrix effect in action again, where the whole food outperforms the isolated nutrient every single time. For seniors specifically, eggs provide one of the most bioavailable forms of protein that exists in nature, meaning your body can actually use a higher percentage of the protein you consume compared to many other sources. Scientists measured this using something called the biological value scale, and whole eggs score a perfect 100, which is higher than beef, chicken, fish, and yes, higher than whey protein powder. Each large egg gives you about 6 to 7 grams of protein along with 5 grams of healthy fats and a treasure chest of vitamins and minerals. And at current grocery prices, you're looking at roughly 15 to 25 cents per egg, making 2 or 3 eggs one of the cheapest high-quality protein meals you could possibly eat. Now here's something that makes eggs particularly valuable for seniors concerned about muscle loss. The yolk contains a nutrient called leucine, which is the single most important amino acid for triggering muscle protein synthesis. And research from McMaster University showed that leucine is the key that unlocks the muscle-building process in older adults whose bodies have become somewhat resistant to the normal signals that tell muscles to grow. When you eat 2 to 3 whole eggs, you're getting a leucine dose that crosses the threshold needed to activate that muscle-building machinery, even in bodies over 60 that have become less responsive to protein signals. The best way to prepare eggs for maximum muscle-building benefit is to cook them gently rather than blasting them on high heat, because overcooking can damage some of the delicate nutrients in the yolk and reduce their bioavailability. Soft boiling your eggs for about 6 to 7 minutes gives you a perfectly set white with a slightly creamy yolk that retains the maximum nutritional value. Poaching is another excellent option, and scrambling on low to medium heat with a small amount of olive oil or butter works wonderfully too. You can pair your eggs with some sautéed spinach and a slice of whole grain bread for a complete muscle-preserving breakfast that costs well under $2 and delivers over 20 grams of highly absorbable protein. Try to include eggs in your diet at least 4 to 5 times per week. And don't be afraid of eating 2 or 3 at a time because current research, including a major review published in the British Medical Journal, confirms that moderate egg consumption does not increase cardiovascular risk in healthy adults, and the cardiovascular benefits of maintaining strong muscles as you age actually outweigh the outdated concerns about dietary cholesterol. Your muscles are waiting for exactly the kind of complete nutrition that whole eggs provide, and at their price point, there's simply no protein powder on the market that can compete with what nature built into that shell. Now the next food on our list takes muscle building to an entirely different level, and it might already be sitting in your pantry. Number 3. Greek yogurt. When researchers at the University of Toronto set out to identify the single most effective dairy food for combating age-related muscle loss, one food stood head and shoulders above everything else they tested, and that food was plain Greek yogurt. What separates Greek yogurt from regular yogurt and from most other protein sources is the straining process it goes through during production, which removes excess liquid whey and concentrates the protein content to roughly double what you find in conventional yogurt. A standard 6-ounce container of plain Greek yogurt delivers between 15 and 18 grams of protein, and you can often find store brand versions for $1 to $1.50, which means you're getting protein powder level nutrition at a fraction of the cost and with dramatically superior muscle building properties. The reason Greek yogurt works so exceptionally well for seniors comes down to its unique combination of casein and whey proteins existing together in their natural ratio. Whey protein digests quickly and spikes your muscle building signals rapidly, while casein digests slowly and provides a sustained release of amino acids to your muscles over several hours. And when these two proteins work together in their natural dairy matrix, they create what researchers describe as a prolonged anabolic window, meaning your muscles stay in building mode for much longer than they would with a fast-digesting protein powder alone. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults who consume dairy-based protein in its whole food form retained significantly more lean muscle mass over a 12-week period compared to those who consumed the same amount of protein from supplements. And the researchers attributed this directly to the food matrix effect of the naturally occurring fats, calcium, and bioactive peptides present in dairy foods like Greek yogurt. Beyond the protein content, Greek yogurt is rich in calcium, which plays a critical role in muscle contraction, and it contains probiotics that improve gut health, which is far more connected to muscle preservation than most people realize. Emerging research from the journal Gut Microbes has shown that a healthy gut microbiome actually enhances your body's ability to absorb amino acids and may directly influence muscle protein synthesis through what scientists call the gut-muscle axis. For seniors whose digestive efficiency naturally declines with age, the probiotics in Greek yogurt essentially help your body extract more muscle-building nutrition from everything you eat throughout the day, not just from the yogurt itself. Now, the best way to eat Greek yogurt for maximum muscle-building results is surprisingly simple, but there are a few important details to get right. Always choose plain Greek yogurt rather than flavored varieties because the flavored versions are loaded with added sugars that trigger insulin spikes and can actually promote fat storage rather than muscle growth. You can sweeten it naturally by adding a handful of berries, a drizzle of raw honey, or some sliced banana, which adds extra antioxidants and potassium that further support muscle health. One particularly effective approach is to eat Greek yogurt as an evening snack about an hour before bed, because research from Maastricht University in the Netherlands found that consuming protein before sleep significantly enhanced overnight muscle protein synthesis in older adults, and the slow-digesting casein in Greek yogurt makes it the ideal food for this purpose since it feeds your muscles amino acids throughout the entire night while you sleep. You can also mix Greek yogurt into smoothies with frozen fruit and a tablespoon of nut butter for an incredibly nutrient-dense muscle-building snack, or use it as a base for savory dressings and dips that you can enjoy with vegetables throughout the day. Consistency matters enormously with Greek yogurt, so aim for one serving daily and you'll be providing your muscles with a steady, reliable stream of exactly the building blocks they need. Get ready, though, because the next food on this list delivers a muscle-building punch that even most nutrition experts underestimate. Number 2. Lentils. If someone told you that one of the most powerful muscle-building foods for people over 60 comes from a tiny seed that costs pennies per serving, you might think they were exaggerating, but the science behind lentils and muscle preservation is remarkably compelling and backed by some of the most respected nutrition research institutions in the world. Lentils are a nutritional giant hiding in a humble package, and a 1-cup serving of cooked lentils delivers approximately 18 grams of plant-based protein along with 15 grams of fiber, significant amounts of iron, folate, potassium, and magnesium, and all of this for roughly 20 to 30 cents per serving when you buy them dried. Now you might be thinking that plant protein is inferior to animal protein for building muscle. And that used to be the conventional wisdom, but recent research has challenged that assumption in a major way. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2021 found that when total daily protein intake was adequate, plant-based protein sources produced muscle-building results that were statistically comparable to animal-based sources, and lentils specifically ranked among the highest quality plant proteins available because they contain strong amounts of nearly all essential amino acids. What makes lentils especially valuable for seniors is their extraordinarily high magnesium content. And this is where the story gets really fascinating because magnesium deficiency is one of the most widespread and overlooked causes of accelerated muscle loss in older adults. Research published in the journal Nutrients found that magnesium plays a direct role in muscle protein synthesis, and that seniors with low magnesium levels experience significantly faster rates of sarcopenia compared to those with adequate levels. A single cup of cooked lentils provides about 71 milligrams of magnesium, which is a meaningful contribution toward closing that critical gap that so many older adults don't even know they have. But the benefits go even further because lentils are one of the best food sources of resistant starch, a type of carbohydrate that feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut and produces short-chain fatty acids that reduce systemic inflammation throughout your body. Chronic low-grade inflammation, which scientists call inflammaging, is one of the primary drivers of muscle breakdown in people over 60. And by reducing this inflammation through improved gut health, lentils create an internal environment where your muscles can actually respond to protein and rebuild themselves more effectively. The fiber in lentils also helps regulate blood sugar levels, which is critically important because insulin resistance, which becomes increasingly common with age, impairs your muscles' ability to absorb amino acids and use them for growth and repair. Preparing lentils for maximum benefit is straightforward and requires no special cooking skills whatsoever. Red lentils cook the fastest, typically in about 15 to 20 minutes without any pre-soaking needed, and they break down into a soft, creamy texture that works beautifully in soups and stews. Green and brown lentils hold their shape better and are perfect for adding to salads or mixing with rice and vegetables for a hearty, complete meal. One of the best muscle-building lentil preparations is a simple lentil soup made with onions, garlic, carrots, a splash of olive oil, and your favorite spices, cooked low and slow until everything melts together into a warm, comforting bowl that delivers nearly 20 grams of protein per serving. You can also cook a large batch at the beginning of the week and store them in the refrigerator for up to 5 days, adding them to various meals as a protein and fiber boost that takes zero additional preparation time. For optimal muscle building results, try to include lentils in your diet 3 to 4 times per week and consider pairing them with a vitamin C-rich food like tomatoes, bell peppers, or lemon juice because vitamin C dramatically enhances your body's absorption of the iron in lentils, and iron is essential for delivering oxygen to your muscle tissues during activity and recovery. Now it's time for the number one food on our list, and what the research shows about this food's muscle-building power in seniors is absolutely extraordinary. Number 1. Cottage cheese. This is the food that researchers are calling the single most underutilized muscle-building weapon available to adults over 60. And when you understand the science behind why cottage cheese is so remarkably effective at combating age-related muscle loss, you'll wonder why every doctor and nutritionist isn't shouting about it from the rooftops. A 1-cup serving of low-fat cottage cheese delivers a staggering 28 grams of protein, which is more than a full scoop of most commercial protein powders, and you can buy a 16-ounce container for roughly $1.50 to $2 at most grocery stores, giving you 2 full high-protein servings for less than the cost of a single protein shake. But the amount of protein isn't even the most impressive part of the cottage cheese story. The study that put cottage cheese on the scientific map for muscle building was conducted at the University of Central Florida, and the results were nothing short of remarkable. Researchers found that consuming cottage cheese before bed increased muscle protein synthesis by 48% more than consuming a whey protein supplement with the exact same amount of protein. And this effect was particularly pronounced in older adults whose muscles had become resistant to normal protein stimulation. The secret lies in the specific type of protein that dominates cottage cheese, which is casein, and not just any casein, but micellar casein in its completely natural unprocessed form. Micellar casein forms a gel-like substance in your stomach that digests incredibly slowly, releasing a steady trickle of amino acids into your bloodstream for up to 7 hours after you eat it. And this prolonged amino acid delivery is exactly what aging muscles need, because research shows that older muscles require a longer and more sustained protein signal to activate the growth and repair process compared to younger muscles. A quick spike of amino acids from a fast-digesting protein powder often isn't enough to fully switch on those stubborn muscle-building pathways in people over 60, but the slow, sustained release from cottage cheese keeps those pathways activated for hours and hours, giving your muscles a dramatically longer window to absorb nutrients and rebuild. Beyond the casein protein, cottage cheese is exceptionally rich in leucine, delivering approximately 2.9 grams per cup, which exceeds the critical leucine threshold of 2.5 grams that researchers at the University of Texas identified as the minimum needed to maximally stimulate muscle protein synthesis in older adults. It also contains significant amounts of calcium, phosphorus, selenium, and B vitamins, all of which play supporting roles in muscle function, energy production, and the prevention of oxidative damage that accelerates muscle aging. The best way to eat cottage cheese for maximum muscle-building results is to make it a regular part of your evening routine, consuming 1 cup approximately 60 to 90 minutes before you go to sleep, because this timing takes full advantage of the slow-digesting casein by flooding your muscles with amino acids throughout the entire overnight recovery period when your body does the majority of its repair and growth work. You can eat it plain if you enjoy the taste, or you can mix in some fresh berries, a sprinkle of cinnamon, a handful of walnuts, or a small drizzle of honey to create a satisfying dessert-like snack that happens to be one of the most powerful muscle-building meals you could possibly consume. For a savory option, try mixing cottage cheese with some diced cucumber, fresh dill, a little garlic powder, and a crack of black pepper for a protein-packed snack that pairs perfectly with whole grain crackers or vegetable sticks. Some people blend cottage cheese into smoothies where it creates an incredibly creamy, thick texture while adding a massive protein boost without any chalky artificial taste. The key with cottage cheese is daily consistency, because the cumulative effect of sustained overnight muscle protein synthesis, repeated night after night, creates a compounding benefit that research suggests can meaningfully slow and even partially reverse the muscle loss that typically accompanies aging. Choose low-fat or 2% varieties rather than fat-free, because the small amount of natural fat improves the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins and contributes to the slow digestion effect that makes cottage cheese so uniquely effective for this purpose. There you have it, 5 incredible foods that science has proven build muscle faster than expensive protein powders, and every single one of them costs about $1.50 or less per serving. From the omega-3 pack power of canned sardines to the overnight muscle-building magic of cottage cheese, you now have a complete, affordable toolkit for fighting back against age-related muscle loss, starting with your very next meal. Your muscles don't care about fancy supplement labels or marketing claims. They care about real nutrients delivered in the form that nature intended, and these 5 foods deliver exactly that. The research is clear, the science is settled, and the grocery list is short. Your stronger, more independent future starts with what you put on your plate today. If this video helped you, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another video that could change your health for the better. Thank you so much for watching.